You're listening to Bluebird on Your Shoulder, three voices pushing back against Trump, MAGA, and the lies that make authoritarianism possible, facts over fear, process over power. Season 2.
And we still need to change that, and we're on take like fucking 4. And that's completely abnormal behavior. So I'm I'm out here lost in translation over it. Like I'm beside myself. So I don't even know.
I completely lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, so today or this week we had our primaries um, across different districts. We saw that here in Indiana we really struggled with having people show up to vote, even well, at least for the Republican primaries. I looked at numbers. Did you look at the numbers?
Yeah, they were pretty abysmal.
Dismal. Yeah. Yeah, 20,000 total Republicans voted in the primaries. And because of that, we had um five Republicans get primaried out for pro-Trump redistricting um Republicans.
Yeah,
So
we definitely had that. That's definitely
one
in there.
one thing that was kind of nice was that we did have 80,000 Democrats come out for the primary. So um, if we have the same show of strength, then we might actually be able to get some blue back into the state because it's been blood red for far too long.
That's also true. It could very well happen. We push ourselves into the, I don't know. Turnout numbers were low on the Republican side too. Very mega basey. As far as the primary goes, like there was a lot of chatter about it. Ohio had the gubernatorial though, and Vivek did pull out a victory
Mm-hmm.
over who I believe was the ex-governor. I don't know. He was somebody. Um, and Vivek's an interesting character in itself. I don't know. I don't know. So we're definitely out of the political instability into the full institutional stress testing section
For
of
sure.
of life. We have fully got there. The more and more the random chaos isn't actually random chaos. It's well planned out. Well, maybe not well planned out. That could be a bit reach, but planned out.
Yeah.
That and then can we're in the stage like can the populist movement be sustained, right? Beyond Trump himself. Like, and that's what I think the the primaries are telling us, and I think it really depends on where. And then we have what? We have Kentucky next week with Massey in a really tight race.
Yeah.
That MAGA and APAC are 100% behind his opponent. Um, so that shouldn't have been a close race, but it seems like it's going to be a very close race.
Well, and I don't really mind close races for Republican primaries right now because they're they're showing that they're willing to spend money without a large return. They're getting their person, but if we're looking at pure numbers, we're looking at you know in Indiana we had 4 times the amount of Democrats come out and vote than the Republicans. So if that is indicative of how the rest of the midterms are going to go. The more money they waste now in their primaries, the the better chance the Democrats have of having a good turnout when it comes to spending money in the actual midterm.
No, for sure. I 100% agreed with that. So, but we'll see. It was sad here that 5 out of 7 state senators that opposed redistricting got primaried.
Yeah,
They did.
yeah, and that's really unfortunate because I mean, I know a couple hundred. Actually, I probably know a good 1,000 Republicans. And so, I know 1/20th of the total Republicans that showed up to vote, compared to how many Republicans there are in the state. And like you said, I think that a lot of them were the MAGA base and old people without much to do, and they're still of the generation that believes in whatever news station that they listen to.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them they lost, but they were close for low turnout. So I only saw one that was like a drubbing. You know what I'm saying? So, but these are people I don't know a lot about on either side, right? Like,
Yeah.
So for the most part, I don't know, but the establishment Republican structures are definitely still weakening there.
Yeah.
It's definitely becoming a more populist, nationalist, executive aggression. I think both parties are going through a psychological transition at this point. Um, they're transforming into things they've never been before. So on the Republican side, you have like the emotional identity politics, right? Like the white is okay or right, or they talk about weird things. They phrase things very strange, like code switching for racism. So but
Yeah.
it's definitely populist nationalist. It's a movement loyalty thing. Like it's very like, oh, it's bad. Oh, he did it. It's not bad. So like, or oh, I'll pay $5 a gallon of gas because Trump is Jesus. Um,
There's a lot of talk right now in the news cycle about patience. The the talking points for Republicans talk about patience right now.
yeah, that's that's really fair. I mean, and the Democratic side has become like stability politics and like you said, patience, right? Like institutional
Hmm.
defense, like old school 90s Republican war hawks, like um technocratic governance, authoritarian framing. Everything's anti-authoritarian, and it's a huge switch, but it puts Trumpism and MAGA in a very interesting light. So because it works best and it's worked best for all these years as opposition, and it fails miserably inside actual governance
Right.
because it wins as opposition. It's basically opposition research live on national TV on Saturday night. So we have all of that there, but then governing requires stability, consistency, balance. You know what I'm saying? Institutions, and like we're just tearing it down. So like now you
Yeah.
have to like navigate courts and the Pentagon and we've seen kind of what they're doing when it doesn't work, right? The markets, the trade system, which the market has went bonkers.
been
So
been saying it for months. I don't understand the market right now. It's not acting. Yeah, it's just not acting right. Like
oh,
there's really that if there's only so much money to be moved from stock to stock to stock, then you would think that there would be expansion and contraction that happen differently, but it's just like everything's going up all at the same time. There's no like currency isn't seeing a weakening versus sectors of commodities and things like with
hey,
oil
my
being what it is, and the outlook that what we're going to see as far as an economic contraction because of rising costs. They're not The market isn't trading like in at all for towards like what that would be speaking towards. You
No,
know,
it's very reminiscent of a late '90s tech bubble.
bubble. Yeah,
So they're very similar, and it's being driven by tech again, so that makes sense, right?
yeah.
History repeats itself. I mean, I can't hate the AMD earnings play this week. I mean, I made bank.
I missed it.
So, like I saw AMD eating shit, knowing they were
Hmm.
going to report mega earnings because everybody else in the sector did.
Right, right.
So I took a shot. Next day, plus 3,000%. So it's a pretty good rock. Like you gotta figure out where to go, and how to get in. But you are right that it's just on fire.
Yeah, none of it makes sense.
And cutting the interest rate right now, it would fucking go bonkers.
Yeah.
So
No,
because
I,
they're
th-
still
I think,
begging for the interest rates to be cut,
of
and
course.
we're just gonna pour straight gasoline on it, bro. Nitro.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but we have inflation rising, available jobs lowering, unemployment rising, um, companies responding to what they have to respond to. We have, right now, I just saw a really interesting fact that ties into our favorite war. Like, we're very into oil, right? And there's definitely, let me touch this, there's definitely price gouging out there. So,
Sure.
oil went from $90 to $100 a barrel. Gas went up 60 cents.
Mhm.
Oil has dropped from 118 to sub 90. Gas is $5.
Yeah.
It's weird how I can go this way really fast, but it doesn't go this way really fast. So
No.
we definitely have price gouging, but I think there's a bigger play. So like I got our quarterlies, and I'm looking at my cost of goods across the board, and I'm shitting myself that my number two cost of goods is produce.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a produce heavy concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I got some tomatoes and stuff. So like, but then I really realized, and I did a little research and I looked into it. So currently 1 out of 4 farmers don't have the fertilizer they need for the spring plant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
And
produce is going to go bonkers. Like grow, because we can't grow anything because we don't have any fertilizer, because that's a straight over moves thing too.
right.
So like the oil everyone knows about and talks about, but it's in reality, what is it? Like 7% of the global whole in the oil domain goes through the
Um.
strait, but it's like,
No. It's like 20%.
okay, 20%.
Yeah.
But it's like 68% of fertilizer.
Right.
So, because they do make a lot of that there. So, insert stereotype joke
Yeah.
right there.
And if you look at the price of beef right now, and then you look at the cost of grain going up by 20%. Grain is the number one expense when it comes to growing beef. So, that goes up 20%. We're looking at at least another, 10 to 20% increase in beef. And I mean, you can't buy a pound of chuck for freaking $5 a pound.
$5. It must be cheap up there. Yeah, like $8 a pound down here. So it's a wild reality. And I can't eat that much chicken. Like
I
chicken
can.
good. Chicken's good, but I'll be real with you. I don't trust meat any.
Man, I'm trying
I
to get
from
back to.
farmers or actually farmers or no sponsorship required. Target.
Oh yeah.
It's got phenomenal meat, and I don't understand why. It's like the Myers of our day.
Huh.
Like Meyer always had the best meat out of the grocery store chains, and then Kroger took it over for a while, and now it's fucking Target.
Yeah, I actually have heard that.
It's the meat is phenomenal there. So, but you're right. Like the price of beef in America.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got me a smoker, and I'm trying to smoke things, and like pork, chicken, and ribs is cool, and salmon's cool, but I want to smoke some fucking brisket, and it's
Yeah.
just stupid expensive. So, it's like, and I'm not selling it. I'm eating this shit. So I could eat 15 pounds of brisket in a couple of days. It's fine. It's
Ugh,
fine.
God, like I'm I've needed to go grocery shopping for the past like 3 days, and I'm just dreading it because I know I'm gonna spend $400 just stock up for the next 2 weeks.
So yeah, the kid gets out of school soon.
Yep.
And I know that's like an extra 100 a week on my grocery bill.
Yep.
Because he's gonna like want food and stuff during the day or something. It's a weird fucking concept that they think they're allowed to eat and stuff. But
We need to send them outside like our parents did to us, keep their grocery bills down.
no, because neighbors used to feed you. They ain't doing that shit no more. Ain't nobody feeding your kids, bro. I don't even think people know how to talk to kids.
No.
I don't. You know.
I keep talking about how weird people are now post COVID about kids being outside playing. Like, you're allowed to play in your own yard, and like you're not even allowed to ride past where your parents can see you. I have kids in fifth grade around here that I never see like leaving their yard, and it's just nuts to me.
Yeah, I'm with it. I agree. So, but yeah, flipping back real quick, I think it's also crazy. Like, KKK Caroline had her baby and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
she's like not the press secretary right now because she's on
Yeah.
maternity leave. So they got fucking Rubio doing it, and
Oh.
it's kind of wild, right? So there's the underlying reality to that, right? So he probably nominated himself for this.
He must have,
Um,
because
well, that puts him right there, right? Coming into it's politically huge, but it's crazy that like Rubio was like a super anti-Trump guy.
oh yeah.
It's just
He was actually one of my favorite Republicans, as far as being a moderate and making sense compared to everybody else. The only other one I liked better than him was Kasich.
yeah. So, but now, I mean, he is better at being the stabilizer, and it's weird. Like he doesn't know any of the media's name. He doesn't know who they are. So he
Yeah.
just calls on random people by their clothing. It's hey, whatever. He was very polite, like very professional. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But he be calling on he called on like Lindell TV. I didn't even know that was a thing till he called
Yeah, oh
me. She's
yeah.
like, "This is so and so from Lindell TV." I'm like, "The fucking My Pillow guy."
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then like the whole room laughed when he called on her, and I'm like, because that's a joke. But then I realized like, why does she have a front row spot? So like
Because
that's
they kicked everybody else out.
he didn't even know who the fuck it is.
Yeah, and from what I was watching yesterday, he is loving the fact that he's able to use like 90s and early 2000s rap quotes and stuff like that, and tying them into what he's saying. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Why are they like this?
Well, and one thing like I noticed, like, dude, I have pretty big ears, for my head, and dude, his are like freaking this tall, and they're just gonna get bigger and bigger as he gets older. His ears are gonna be larger than Ross Perot's.
No, that's not going to happen.
Without surgery, they most certainly will. They won't be as out there, but they will be taller. He's got
Taller.
very tall ears.
I don't think you make me look at my ears. got a big head.
You do
I don't
have a big
necessarily-
head.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have little ears. I just have a big head. So, which make my ears look little. But no, he's actually doing the job fairly well, and it's weird to see somebody in like this administration in that
He's
role
still
be
he's still
functional.
Well, because he's been a functional politician for 20 years, but the problem is that he is still using talking points that were that Trump is dictating that we use. So like I've looked at some of his highlight reels, and he's still not.
Well, no, he's not. Dude, they want to. You know what happens to them if they do that? They lose their job
Exactly.
forever.
Right.
So he's still like primaries proved he's got pull in state politics still.
Yeah.
So like you gotta be good. You know what I'm saying? Like if Massey really loses in Kentucky, that'll be wild, dude. That'll be
Yeah.
wild. So because I think Massey is about as Republican as you can get.
Right.
He
But he's
just
traditional
disagrees with
Republican.
well, he disagrees with bullshit.
Right.
So um we do also have like there's a lot of defining executive power going on in SCOTUS right now. And it's
Yeah.
really weird what they're upholding and what they're slashing, and it's like every time I think they're going to turn right, they turn left, and then when I think for sure they got to go straight, they go right,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I just don't see what angle you guys are having here. Like we we definitely had the tariff, rulings like. You don't
Yeah.
have unlimited power. You can't just do that. Like, you can't invent fucking reasons to like go and do your thing, right? But then we are seeing overall more support for executive authority, which is a very
Right.
conservative thing. Um,
I mean, yes and no. I mean, their entire platform during the Obama years was, the executive authority has gone too far, because
yeah.
they said that they wanted to rein it in after they gave Bush too much, but obviously we.
Well, I think Robertson's up the creek now. He's spending most of his time trying to preserve the institutional legacy of the court. Because the court
Is
is
he?
completely distrusted by both sides. I mean, he is. He publicly comes out and defends the court and says they're not political. And I've never seen a chief justice do that. But on one side, they're 100% like you're Trump's puppet, and then their side is like, well, if you are Trump's puppet, how come you didn't do this for us? So it's just really weird.
Well, and that's kind of where I think that some of that is interesting. I feel like sometimes that's why they're doing it that way, because they want to provide the illusion that that they're nonpartisan and that they're really just interpreting the law, but really what they're doing is they're aiding in whatever plan the Republicans are really pushing forward, because like the Voting Rights Act is something that Roberts has been against for a very long time. He's been very vocal about working against it, and this was really his opportunity to gut a major part of it that he didn't like. Um, so I think that some of that is something that we need to be cognizant of. Um, and he does talk about how they need to be conservative about um, overruling precedent, but if you look at some of the things that he's supporting, as far as you know rulings that they're making that don't necessarily make a lot of sense, um, I think that I think we see that they're using that kind of as a smokescreen to be able to push the agenda that they're really focused on.
Yeah, that could. I mean, you could be true, but then we're accepting the fact that all constitutional debate will now be identity politics.
I mean,
And
that's
I don't want to live. I don't want that world. I don't
I
want.
don't either,
But well, then fucking do something. You're pretty. Go on TV and make a difference. Get elected. You got
you know,
military service too.
you know why I can't do that.
Nah, fuck it. We can get 2026. We can talk our way right through that shit. We'll be fine. I'll do your chief of staff thing. We got this, bro. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Like we're already living in an episode of fucking West Wing, so we might as well give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? If he was here, he'd tell you closed mouths don't get fed. That's what he would tell you right now.
Do you want me to answer that question? What's the worst that could happen?
You win. The worst that could happen is you win, and you actually make me chief of staff. What a fucking terrible idea. Literally terrible idea. So, and you all thought this dude's unhinged.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm tearing it all down. No,
for sure.
No, Aaron is still the one that needs to run, but he's down in Florida now, so
yeah, he's definitely the whistle, the clean little whistle. That's for sure. He's a pretty good dude. Yeah, fuck it, let's make him run.
I told him I'm gonna make him here pretty soon.
So yeah, that would be cool. We could do that. Then I would do you could do the chief of staff thing, and I would totally want to be the press secretary.
Oh yeah,
that would totally work for me, dude. How clowning that shit would be. Oh, so you're gonna act like a little bitch again today? That's literally what would come out of my mouth. So this is what we're doing.
Well, that's not too much different than what they're saying now. So
100%, but I'm gonna keep it 1,000. They try to whitewash it or politically wash it. No, fuck that. You acting like a little bitch again today? Well, I fucking called on you and let you ask you a little bitch ass question. So, but no, we live in this cycle where the Constitution becoming identity politics is a wild fucking concept. Almost not directly, but very much indirectly beyond and in direct opposition of the intention. Governance is supposed to be service, not power.
right.
And it's supposed to apply to all, not few.
Yep.
And I think that's what this one did differently than all the other ones didn't. Is the older presidents, they had differences, but they all did actually genuinely give a fuck about the country. And the people, what are you doing?
Something happened with your sound, but it's okay.
There's no way, bro. You just started looking around like you were fucking lost, bro. There was tracers on the screen, bro. That's for the other podcast.
Yeah.
So, which I did have somebody ask me what that podcast would look like, and I told them what the name of the book was supposed to be, and they're like, "You got to do this. You got to do this. I need to know." It's also the person who correlated that in our youth that I did tend to get naked a lot.
We all did.
In weird situations. It definitely happened. I didn't realize it. And he's like, dude, this is the third different story that ended up with you. And I'm like, you're on to something here. So, because we always just put that on Tony, because he was the worst.
Oh, yeah, he was the worst.
Right. So we did that self-serving bias thing. We weren't fucking doing it. That's basically MAGA's whole fucking ability right there. It's the self-serving bias thing. And it's wild how they, you know what I'm saying, get hype about dumb shit. So Tennessee approves. Yeah. So they lost one, right? The last Democratic seat.
Yeah, but it is a large, it was a very concentrated Democratic seat, and and for them to, it's completely racially, biased there, so they'll have to fight that one out in court, but according to what the new
I'm Supreme Court just said that shit don't matter, bro.
Yep. So, yep, that was Robert's baby right there.
Yeah.
Um,
So he didn't feel like that was acceptable behavior.
yeah,
Why would we let them vote? So you can't have equal representation when you're supposed to be what, 2/3?
right.
So, but no, it's we're in the time. That's for sure. We're in the time. Um, he's not been doing a lot of spiraling though. A little bit on the internet, but not like a ton of spiraling, and it's kind of disappointing.
um,
Like the only thing he had going for him was the entertainment value,
right.
and like now I don't have that either, and it's horse shit. Like, where's my entertainment value? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to
I
get
I
myself there?
I'm pretty sure that what they're looking at is, the long term fallout of this, capitulation to Israel, and what that's going to look like for us, going forward. And
Yeah.
it's there's a lot that I'm looking at that says, in a year from now is when we're gonna feel the real pain. Like $5 a gallon gas, that's nothing compared to what we're gonna be feeling. Just like what we were talking about with grain and beef and all of that. Not to mention,
Well, they keep saying it's
yeah,
going to all go down in 30 days. They started saying that like 8 months ago, but 30 days.
yeah. Well, and even if gas prices ease back, that doesn't mean that we're not going to see the fallout from this. It's not all about cost of oil and things like that. It has to do with the infrastructure and things like that that's been destroyed, and the way that that's going to look as far as long term production, and whether or not we can get our stockpiles back. And you know there's there's a
Yeah.
lot more that we'll see affect our overall bottom line, our standard of life, that we won't feel for months.
Yeah, that's definitely not false. I mean, we'll have the Iran war for like the next decade. So, it was going to be what are they like, rapid and fast, or some rapid dominance? That's what they said. We rapid dominance. In which you,
It's the same as shock and awe. Like all they're doing is trying to use synonyms. It's all the same conflict, and it's the same bullshit reason.
I've seen Sean Ryan. He's got a podcast. I do enjoy him. He definitely used to lean heavier right. Maybe he does. Like, it's not uncommon for the military to lean right, as you know. And
Yep.
I think he's ex special forces. Don't quote me on that, but I like his podcast. That's the
What
main point.
what podcast is it?
His name is Sean Ryan. I don't know what his podcast is called. I
Is is he that bearded dude that usually wears a hat backwards?
no,
No, okay.
no.
Because that dude is special forces and
Yeah, this
swish.
Sean Ryan usually sits himself in like it seems like a study and leather chairs and
Oh no.
it's good, it's good. But yeah, his recent episode, he kind of went on a tirade. So he's gone anti-Trump since the Epstein files.
Mm.
And then he started the Iran war, and then he said like all the bullshit they're spewing about they've been our enemy for 47 years. And he said, okay, cool, that's true. He was like, but the Taliban was our enemy for 25 years. Now you're giving them like $47 million a week.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear your bullshit. Like, you're funding our enemy now. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but I know he does. And I know he definitely came out and said that like he heard of or was shown at some point, like that the reason we thought Iraq had nuclear weapons was like an air conditioning unit in the middle of the desert, a water truck in the desert, some dude taking a piss in the desert. And
Hmm.
he's like, and it's those three things, because like that doesn't happen.
Right.
And he was like, this is just more of the same. Like, I don't know. It's I like people who I might not have agreed with you at some point, but you show me you're intelligent enough to actually continue to critically reason about what's really happening in real time and not make believe it's not happening
Right.
and not make believe that we're spinning it. You're just showing articles, bro. The Al Jazeera in an article that has the word Israeli in it is an ironic as shit. So Israeli detention, exposed torture and sexual violence. I wouldn't be shocked, bro. So I know he had Tim Tebow on. Do you know who Tim Tebow is? Sean Ryan and Tim
Yes.
Tebow on. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know, bro. You don't do sports ball.
Yeah,
So I wasn't sure.
but he became a soldier, so
Tim Tebow became a soldier.
didn't he enlist for a while?
I don't feel like he did.
No?
I can't be sure, but I don't think so. He's just the super Jesus guy.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. That's right.
yeah.
That's a
But
different kind of enlistment, I guess.
yeah, it's also factual. He was always super Jesus.
Yeah.
He wasn't born again. But he has spent a majority of his time post NFL career fighting pedophilia. So he had, which there'd be some latent things in that. We're not going there. But he did bring up, like, you brought up that, like, sexual violence and bad shit
Hmm.
and Israeli detention. And they were talking about, Tebow was on and he was talking about this. And 44% of all money used to purchase streams or videos of young boys and young girls being sexually assaulted comes from America.
Yeah.
It's thoroughly not shocking.
Yeah. Not one bit.
Like and it's so weird though. Like, did freedom lead to this?
Did what?
Like unabridged freedom?
No.
Or or was it MTV? Like, what happened?
No. None of that.
Well, I don't know. 44% says we got a much bigger problem than the rest. That's what it says.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's inbreeding, but
Okay, but sadly,
you know, and it. I mean, it
I
is.
feel like most inbred people aren't rich enough to pay for live streams of people being sexually assaulted.
Oh, I
Maybe,
mean,
maybe I'm way
it,
off base.
yeah. It's not as expensive as you would think.
That's
So,
even more fucking ruthless.
yeah, right.
So that's so stupid, man. But I
Yeah.
do like that he did that, and he just brought that stat up. And so, like, when you're like Israeli, and I'm like, yeah, Israelis and Americans are kind of twisted.
Hmm.
Like, they're
Well,
willing to do a lot of fucked up shit.
yeah, and when it comes to pedophilia like that, it usually has to do with trauma, you know generational trauma, and uh, and power dynamics, and those are things that white people especially you know get into. So
Piss some people off now. Um, you love pissing some people off. But yeah, no, we're I mean, you ain't wrong. So
I know I'm not wrong.
I just, so basically what you're saying is free therapy could really help.
Oh, healthcare
So
in America would fix a lot of problems. And when I
I
say
think
healthcare, I am including
no,
mental health care.
no, that I hope everyone understood the context, and if they did, they're probably not watching us, bro.
or
The
they're really
type of
mad at
people,
me right now.
the type of people who could not follow along with you there very closely, like that was done very Crayola crayon pop-up book style. Like if you could not follow, the context clues directly into that, then obviously we were talking about you. So maybe not. And yeah, more Iran. You like he's sharing articles, he's highlighting it for people on a podcast that's like 92% radio. So it's
Uh,
super. You are a man of habit, that's for sure. You are a creature of habit. Like here. But no, yeah, we can talk. I mean, there isn't really anything else to talk about Iran right now other than it's still what it was.
well,
Like we've
so
been
I
in
mean,
that
there's a little
we've been
bit. We had an exchange of fire. U.S. decided that we were gonna fire on Iran ports, and then they fired at our warships. There was a tanker that was hit, and so, but supposedly, Trump is still saying that our ceasefire is valid. So there's that. And then what they're going over, the things. If you listen to what Trump has been saying, we're gonna have a deal worked out here pretty soon. They're gonna claim that it's the best of all time, but it's not looking like Tehran is really wanting to negotiate terribly with us, outside of basically agreeing to stop catching our missiles, and so they're the nuclear thing, they're talking about that possibly being set aside and done separately. So we're gonna go into this and not even get a nuclear deal worked out.
we already had a nuclear deal.
Yeah. So, and then the whole thing with the Strait and how they're planning on moving forward as far as moving product through the Strait. There's talk about whether or not it's going to be completely opened up, or if Iran is going to continue to tax
Well, they
ships
have
moving
to.
through.
Just blew up their whole fucking half their country.
Yeah.
They got to rebuild it somehow. We're not
Oh,
going to pay. We're going to pay for
we're
it.
gonna pay.
We're going to pay for it. Anyone going, no, we won't right now. You're who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Get you,
And
we're going to pay for it.
and they're talking about lifting sanctions and releasing money, which is exactly what
No, the black guy didn't do. Stop. The black guy did not do that, and he didn't have a nuclear deal. That never happened. Only the anointed one, the
Right.
Cheeto,
Yeah.
the Cheeto Dorito. So yeah, immigration, dude. But Trump and Xi are meeting next week, if I'm right. I'm pretty sure it's next week, and I do believe they're in Beijing.
Trump's going over to Beijing.
I'm pretty sure it's because
Really?
remember it got pushed right when we started the war. It was supposed to happen, and then we started the war, and then so
Yeah.
obviously they weren't going to let him, travel overseas when he had just started a war. But yeah, so I do believe it's next week. I really do. I think he's supposed to go over there next week, and that's when it got pushed back to. And Taiwan, AI, rare earth, semiconductors, and Iran are probably going to be what we talk about.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's a
and-
boat.
yeah, that's one of the warships that came under fire.
Well, that's okay. It looks fine.
Yeah, so I think that we're looking at China really making moves here, because what I'm reading about is they are negotiating with UAE, OPEC, and trying to act as an intermediary to help get things back up and running. They've announced that they're willing to take a larger step in their presence in the Middle East to help maintain peace. So that would all be very interesting to see.
Very America.
Well,
Like, I
they're
understand.
okay.
I know what they're doing. They follow. They're using our roadmap to do it.
Yeah.
Literally, what we did, they're doing.
Yep.
So, like, bright people, it worked for them. Why can't it work for us? Because they're
No.
completely off the fucking rails now. So,
Right.
I think one of the other really interesting things in the whole thing is that the DOJ commodities did launch an investigation into those couple of like 2.6 billion worth of trades that came right before major Iran announcements in the right way. Like before the original announcement, like 30 minutes before, fuckload of money bought oil, and then and then 30 minutes before the announcement the other day, fucking shorted oil, and it dropped like almost $30 a barrel, like that day. And it's like, So the DOJ is like, yeah, we launched an investigation. I want to see how fast that investigation goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we obviously know that it wasn't the Democrats
Right.
who were finding this information out. And then I know Marjorie,
Well, I know that there are Democrats that have made accusations about that happening.
they all insider trade.
Right.
Oh, so what up? Fuck you. It's not illegal. So,
Are
hey,
you sure? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
As much as they do it, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's definitely illegal.
I
They
mean,
just
the
don't.
other thing they did do, though, and it could be propelling the market. So it used to be you had to have 25K in your account to do more than 3-day trades per week.
Right.
They washed that rule.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that rule's gone.
Ooh.
So you could have $12 in your account and make as many fucking day trades as you want. So that's interesting, but
What platforms are letting people do that though?
I don't know if anyone's actually I haven't tested the theory, but I'm assuming most of them, especially like Thinkorswim, because they're going to follow the SEC's governance, and the SEC said it's fine. So
I don't necessarily know that they would that
if
they'll
you wanna-
necessarily do that, just because it's okay with them.
no, they're not
the
going to let you. They're not going to let you leverage. They're not going to give you any leverage if you don't have capital behind it. But if you want to do your little $100 and make 12-day trades in an hour to lose your little $100, they're going to let you do that. Fringe aircraft carriers.
Who's got something to say about the French?
Okay, that's cool. So they're on the. But let's talk about this other boat real quick, though. No, Marjorie Taylor Greene on the podcast openly said that Donald Trump called her and said why the Epstein files couldn't be released is because it would hurt his friends.
Yep.
Now that's all hearsay, right? It's hearsay.
She said that a couple times.
Yeah, but it caught me scrolling through TikTok, and I was like, man, here's MTG, and I used to remember when I would immediately scroll past this bitch. And now,
I know.
What you got to say now? But no, let's talk about the other boat. I don't really know 100% what's going on. I know a lot of people think pandemic 2.7 is coming.
Nah.
I understand that. I don't think that's happening here. However, I do kind of agree with keep them on the fucking boat for a couple weeks. They didn't.
Right.
But I kind of do. Like, you go ahead and keep them on the fucking boat for a couple weeks. Like, and let it play out. And let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, give them good, little 3-4 weeks. You're in the middle of the ocean. Feed them good and stuff. Bring stuff in. You know what I'm saying? Do the right thing. Live comfortably. It's not a poop boat. And listen, you got to take one for the team. You got to take one in the team.
It obviously is a poop boat because that's how the virus spreads.
It was a rat poop boat.
Right.
Not a human poo.
So this article I'm sharing is talking about how hotel bookings for the World Cup are way down, and I feel like that kind of goes along with what we're talking about here. And while this could be a recipe for runaway a runaway virus again, the transmission isn't there, so we're not going to see anything really come of that. But with this is speaking more towards the amount of investment that places made for the World Cup being here, and it's not panning out the way that we all hoped it would. And that is going to have a very real consequence to our hospitality based economy.
That's true. I will say that I don't see that in Miami. So when I do, I got to go to Miami in like a week,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is like 8 times more expensive than normal trip. Like I usually get a round trip ticket for like $300, 1,000.
Wow.
Like I can usually my hotel room's like this time of year 120 a night for like a good hotel. Yeah, 280.
Hmm. Well,
And we're
and
not even
some
so. Miami's probably one of the strongest markets for this because
sure
it's look,
more Latin.
Miami's a Latin city.
Yeah.
It's a Latin area. It's
Yeah.
there. I am in Miami. I promise you, on everything holy and mighty, I hear more Spanish spoken at eightfold than I hear English spoken.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay because Cuban bakeries are phenomenal. Like New York City, Jewish bakery. Miami, Cuban bakery. Completely different, but same. Phenomenal inside what you're getting. The food, but I just necesito una coladas. That's it. I need the coffee that I do, 2 of them, and I can run a marathon. So super good. But yeah, so I think like in the other pivot I would like to make on that, you brought the article. I want to see did short-term rentals spike? Like Airbnbs and Verbos and camper rental and RV sleeping fucks. I don't know, bro. I've thought about going to a rock festival RV style.
I know that the whole glamping thing has really taken hold. So there are people that have basically timeshare RVs now, and there's entire companies where they just park their RVs in a campground, rent the space, and then they rent the facility out to people for a week at a time.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
It's a relatively new concept that I I like, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a camping snob.
Well,
Camping
you
isn't
said glamping, and I heard the only way my ass is going into the woods. That's what I
right, right.
heard.
Yeah, and so the thing is that they're making it more accessible for people like, you know, but for somebody who grew up camping in, in the wilderness, um, where
Also trying to burn their house down with piles of leaves. So things that go together 101.
for me, like most camping places are so commercialized and so used that you don't even feel like you're in nature. You just feel like you're on a hard piece of ground with a fabric wall instead
Okay.
of
So why would we do that?
right.
It's
Well,
2026.
the I don't know if it's just because of population explosion or if it's just the camping model and costs, but yeah, camping isn't what it used to be. And some people are glad, but for somebody
So
who
I'm net neutral, and I also think that's probably horse shit. And if you want to take your little fucking tent with your little sleeping bag and march your little ass into the woods somewhere, you could still do that. So I don't think you need to go to a spot where you pay a $20 entry fee to go do that.
$20, dude. It's almost more expensive to rent a campsite than it is to go to a hotel.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
What do you need to rent a campsite for? Go and make one.
So you're not allowed to do that anymore.
You just roll up in the Appalachians. Nobody's stopping you. So I'm just saying, if there's a will, there's a way. But no, I really seriously did like living on that. You're not wrong, right? So like, I have decided in the last couple of years that like maybe my rock festival days are over. Because the like 4 consecutive 12, 14-hour days baking in the sun and rocking the fuck out and even like I definitely bougified it now. I get the VIP, I got the, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got access to the air conditioned bathrooms, like you know what I'm saying? Like definitely an upgrade from like our youth, but I really seriously was like, I just don't think I can physically. I love it. I love the experience. I love the air. And then I'm like, well, wait. If I buy like the camping package, but like the RV package, and then I could just rent one of these RVs, that it isn't crazy. Like I could rent the RV for like 500 for the 4 days I need it.
Yeah.
And then I could like get in and out passes, and then I could go back, get a nap, be in the air, cook my own food. You know what I'm saying? Like not pay $17 for some bad nachos. Actually bring food that has substance in it, and then go see that, because at this point in time, the bands I all want to see are all headliners. Because I'm not 20 something. I don't follow the scene anymore. I'm not walking around wanting to see the 12 noon underground band that 80 people are there for. That's not my bands usually start at like almost 5 o'clock now. Like, I will say for anyone watching this, they were at one time that noon band.
Yeah, right.
And I was there. So it's not my fault that they got there. Okay. So, but
actually, it kind of is.
Okay, true. I could roll into a festival at like 5 o'clock and be a happy motherfucker.
Right.
So,
right.
like, there's a big one in Columbus next weekend, and I'm not going to go, but I do want to go just one day. I just want to see one band. I just want to see the headliner in the festival. So, but I'm not going to do it because, like, I would seriously probably not roll in that bitch till like 8 o'clock at night. Watch the last couple of bands and then leave, but it's just not worth that kind of money to do that.
Right.
So, but yeah, I feel you on that. The glamping experience has ruined camping, so just chalk that up to another thing millennials have fucking destroyed. So you remember that when we were first coming into the workforce and we were in the early 2000s, like millennials ruined toothpaste market.
Yeah.
Millennials ruined straws. Millennials ruined the ability to have, millennials ruined Depends. Millennials. No. And you know what they didn't trade? For us doing all that, they took houses away from us.
Yeah, right.
They were like, well, fuck you can't have houses then. Because you made avocados expensive and you destroyed the toothpaste market. So the fuck did we do? We didn't do anything. So, and it's really weird because like Gen Z hates us in a lot of ways. Like, I guess that's the thing. I don't feel it personally, but like culturally, I guess that's the thing. I don't remember hating Gen X people. I don't remember giving a fuck. And I think we can all collectively agree we all hate the boomers. So we can all collectively agree on that. So
well, the boomers the boomers are the ones that raised both both Gen X and millennials. And so like being on the cusp, I consider myself a zennial because the first part of my childhood was, out in the wilderness. I was freaking feral.
Not glamping. Right?
Not glamping.
Not glamping.
I was feral as fuck. But then I also, had a computer early on, put it together myself. So like I have both those aspects to my life. And like with the the Gen Xers, or I'm sorry, yeah, the Gen Xers, um, we, or I joined the military, and I was part of the force that went into that went overseas for the Middle East and whatnot. So my experience into the workforce was different than a lot of people's, because especially millennials, because like my stint into adulthood was more post war. Like when we started college was 2003.
Was
So
it?
it was.
Take your word for it.
So the my experience in who I identify with is a little bit different, but um when but anyway, Gen Xers, they were abandoned by early boomers, and late boomers were kind of pressured into supplying millennials with with cell phones and technology and access, where Gen Xers just didn't have that. They were completely feral and independent. But yeah, boomers ruined the world.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know why they hate us. Why the fuck you hate me? What did I do? I came out of the world into like a recession, then another recession, and then a global pandemic, and then fuck
Mhm.
off. I don't care about your fucking graduation. Fuck off. Fuck off. I never got to graduate into adulthood
Right.
until I was almost 50. That shit was supposed to happen. They told me that was going to go down when I was like 24. Now,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, I didn't expect that at 24.
Right.
Because like I don't, I had self-imposed delays. But by 30, I should have had it.
Yep, yep.
And no, because here, fuck you, recession.
Yeah.
Oh, recession recovered, recession number two.
Yep.
Oh, that recession recovered. It's looking good. You're on the up and up. You got a good job. Pandemic.
Yep.
And you want to cry about I didn't have a high school graduation. Neither did I. They didn't offer those in the school I finished at.
Hmm.
So, but no, yeah, that's it's just weird that they hate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, all right. Well, that's this week. It's
For
really
the
been an
most
hour
part.
already. Well, yeah. You showed enough articles. You got anything else you wanted to talk about? You showed 47 articles. I do like how this one does it for you, though.
Yeah. Well,
It does. It
there's.
adds the articles.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, cool. There's a lady in the red dress. Now the trade court ruled against Trump's 10% global tariffs as
I meant
well.
to bring that up
So
when I talked about the SCOTUS.
yeah. So
It,
we are looking at a lot of businesses that paid tariffs are going to catch a windfall that we're going to have to look at revision to the trade deficit that we gave props to the administration for reducing quite a bit. That's
true.
all gone because we're gonna have to pay all that out. We're not gonna see any benefit from that as consumers. So hopefully that will be reflected as a positive for
Midterms.
more than well in the market. So
Midterms. Everything needs to be good for midterms. That's where I'm at.
so that's what they're gonna aim for. They're going to.
It's what the
That's
fuck
why.
you should aim for.
Well, I mean, you should have just aimed for it, period. But oh, ew. Um, but we're gonna see them really working hard. So that's why the Iran deal is gonna come together. While he's gonna try to make it seem like it's the best thing ever, they're gonna look at when to reduce interest rates again, and they're gonna really push to get oil production to get gas prices down, because that's the very loud chattering in their ear
Well,
all day,
fuck
every
you,
day.
because even Costco's not cheap anymore.
No, I've got to.
Cheaper. So, all right.
So
Well, we'll be here again. Yeah, I'll be here next week. The week after, we might have a problem, but we'll see. We'll see. So it depends on how Miami goes. So, hey, I might just live down there.
They have the internet down there.
That's a novel fucking concept.
I mean, I'm looking at trying to move to Costa Rica.
One of these times when I'm not here, JJ should just sit in.
I will remind him.
You let him know. So that'd be hilarity. All right, y'all. Till next week. Bluebird, your shoulder.